Welcome, everybody, to our Fooseball Week 6 picks. Shane's probably got these best 10 matchups that he can think of because Shane and Rich Smoke are the college analysis guys. I'm just here for the sandwiches.
I'm just here so I don't get fired.
Yeah. So, Shane, what's going on? I saw you got
It's a rough
the list.
week. It's a rough week. A lot of teams have their buys, but there's still a handful of really good matchups we need to talk about. Last week, I didn't pick the Mountaineers to win, and they end up upsetting TCU. That was ugly football, but it was very entertaining. They did it with the backup got hurt Wednesday. The original starter was still kind of dinged up, and they had to, roll the dice and see if he could go Thursday. He got a few snaps, and that's why I picked TCU to win, because I thought the Mountaineers were really going to be on their ass, but they won ugly. We've done pretty good the past few weeks picking upset here and there, so we'll get started here with the first.
We go.
Now, I've been singing the praises of the Beavers all year long, and they're 4-1.
I like the name.
But hey, listen, the Pac-12 might be, from top to bottom, the best conference this year after being crappy for 10 years. And they're on life support. Literally, there's two teams remaining in the conference. Everybody else is leaving for the Big Ten and the Big 12. So this will be one of the last times we'll see, Oregon State and California play. So I'm picking the Beavers here.
Okay, I'm going to go also with the Oregon State Beavers because I like the name. Now, Benjamin, he took the California Golden Bears. So, Rich, you're up, brother.
I'm going to go with Oregon State as well. I don't think this one's even going to be very close. I think Oregon State's been getting better and better as time goes on. And I don't know, I was never a big Cal fan. So just for the fact of, I like Beaver too, Brian. I hear you, buddy. More power.
Well, everybody, Brian Burns has entered the building.
And it's Brian when it's an inappropriate comment that pops up live on air, only on the experience.
Well, yeah. Hopefully
5 days a week.
Hopefully the Beaver doesn't chisel down the wood, and that would be really, really bad.
Well, they are going to chisel down those Bears. It's going to be a pretty bad game.
So is that, hey, Burns, is that who you're taking? I'm guessing that's who he's taking. So that's
I'm assuming.
Yeah, so that's probably 4 out of 5 people are taking the Oregon State Bears or Beavers. The Bears are the other ones.
Bears.
Yeah. Okay, let me know when you're ready there, Shane.
Hey, last week I picked Kentucky to upset a few weeks ago, and picked Ohio State to beat Notre Dame. And this week I'm definitely on the next one here. I'm picking the Tigers for sure.
Whoops. Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Probably wasn't fast enough.
Nope, I was not.
Yep, the Tigers are going to win here, fellas.
Okay. Ooh, Tigers. Which Tigers, though? Which Tigers?
It took him a minute. You got me.
I looked up and I'm like, oh my God, what Tigers?
Bubba had back-to-back 2 slow moments.
I'm slow today.
Yeah. Missouri is 5-0, guys. I mean, they're quietly sneaking into like the conversation of maybe making the playoffs. I'm not buying it. I think LSU is going to beat them. So,
yeah, Burns said that. I'm going to go with. I'm going to agree with you, Shane, and I'm going to agree with Burns. I'm going to go with the LSU Tigers.
Yeah.
I have a feeling LSU is going to win this game, but because I learned the hard way through our picks on the other show on Wednesday nights, I'm going to take Missouri. I'm going to say that I agree they haven't been anybody phenomenal just yet. LSU lost a very, very close game to Ole Miss last week. Game that I thought was probably the game of the week, to be honest. What a phenomenal ending! But I'm gonna go Missouri here. I'm gonna take Missouri over LSU.
Ooh,
and what bothers me is I know LSU lost to a good team, but the fact that they could lose a game and not lose any ranking whatsoever. But if Missouri loses this game, they're probably be ranked for the rest of the year. I find the polls to be a bunch of bullshit. By the way. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. I mean, LSU can be 2-2. They can lose this week and go 2-3. They'll be just outside the top 25. They win one more game, they'll be right back in the top 25. Missouri loses this game. They can win the next 3 in a row, and they still won't show back up in that top 25 list. I hate polls. Right. I hate it. I think it is the biggest scam. College football should go to a bracket type of fucking play. have more than just the top 4 teams facing off.
16 teams.
They're
There
going
you
a
go.
16-team bracket.
Burns
Let these
agrees.
teams
Right.
battle it out. Stop making it about 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let these teams earn their way in. It's all bullshit.
I agree.
It's a
I
con.
agree. Benjamin
Sorry.
also took Missouri on the Facebook
Sorry, ladies
site.
and
So
gentlemen.
there's
I'm
two.
very
There's
passionate.
2 for the no. I love your passion stuff. You know what you're talking about, Rich. So yeah, 2 guys for Missouri Tigers. So I will go to the next slide.
Hey guys, both these teams are coming back from tough losses. Kansas got their teeth kicked in. Texas put a whooping on them. UCF was up, on Baylor in the third quarter, and they had a 28-point. They're up 28 points, and they end up shitting the bed, and Baylor beat them. So UCF is a good team. They just didn't do well. So we'll see what happens if the hangover still persists, but I'm picking Kansas to win this one.
Okay, Burns did too. You know what? I'm going to take the UCF Knights. I'm going to take the Knights. Benjamin's taking Kansas City Jayhawks. I'm going off the chart, Rich.
Sorry, I heard Knights and I had to do the LA Knight thing. I'm not picking them though. I am going to go with the Jayhawks. I just wanted to have an excuse to do that stupid ass pointing thing.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'm gonna take Kansas. I mean, UCF. I definitely agree that they should be on the top 10 list at some point. They've played a lot better than I expected them to play this last entire, I don't know what, season now. Yeah, I'll take Kansas here. I think they're going to win pretty easily too.
Ooh.
They look pretty good
UCF's tough at home.
Yeah.
If it was a home game for UCF, I'd pick the Knights, but I'm picking Kansas.
I mean, look at the spread too. It goes to show you that a lot of people have faith in UCF. It's only a 2-point. They're only getting 2. So
that's what I mean.
That's how you know. That's how you know it's going to be a good football game. Typically.
Yep.
Well, at least we hope so. The referees will keep it there for us. We got.
And that's what we talked about before we went live. Is how the refs are just. Yep. Okay, here we go. Shazam.
This is one I was looking at the games this week, and I was like, what game am I going to pick? And I had to look twice. North Carolina's 4-0, and 3 out of 4 games they've covered the spread. Syracuse, the same thing. 3 out of 4 games have covered the spread. The spread's 8.5 for the Qs. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to pick North Carolina to beat Syracuse here. This is going to be a good matchup. If you just looked, at the sheet, you could miss this game, but I would definitely tune in for a couple series and check out, see what's going on with North Carolina, Syracuse. So,
yeah, this looks like a good matchup. Okay, the Flying Lawrence Taylors. where do you come up with this, Burns? Hey, Larry Stryker from Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk is in the house. Brian Reddick, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go and take Syracuse Orangemen. I'm going to take Syracuse over the Tar Heels.
I'm doing the same thing, even though they're the underdog by far. I want to take this back to a comment that Shane made a little bit ago about that Missouri game where they didn't beat anybody. Right? They didn't beat anybody yet. If you look at UNC, they haven't beaten anybody yet. They beat up on a terrible South Carolina team. They had a ticket so close to being 40-34 against Appalachian State. Really close game. They had a bad game against Minnesota. I mean, I know they won it. Pittsburgh scored 24 on them, which makes me nervous. And I'm going to play a team like Syracuse. I mean, Syracuse, they haven't played the most phenomenal teams either. However, their only loss was to a Clemson that was kind of starting off hot, who's kind of fell down a little bit. I'd much rather have my loss against Clemson than play nobody. I'll take Syracuse, even against the spread. I mean, I would take them. So I'm going to take Syracuse.
Nice. Mr. Ralph Williams is in the house on Facebook. Ralph, good evening, and we will see you here in about an hour for Wrestle Talk Across America. He's the big-time host. He knows his wrestling. He knows his football. He's the Pittsburgh guy. So here we go. Next slide.
Hey, guys, I might be feeling nostalgic. I don't know why. Another Pac-12 farewell here. Washington State's another team that, isn't bad. I mean, I think UCLA's a little bit overrated. I'm going to take Washington State here. They're playing at the Rose Bowl. It's going to be on CBS. This is just going to be a fun game to watch. I don't really care for UCLA. I'd like to see Washington State put it to them, but another Pac-12, legacy game that you're not going to be able to watch in the future.
Ooh. Burns says the Cougars are rolling.
They are.
Ralph Williams picked North Carolina in the last pick. You know what? I'm going to go with the Washington State Cougars because I do like the Cougars. You know, after the age of 50, that's what Cougars are. So I'm going with that.
This show's picking Beavers and Cougars, guys.
Beavers and Cougars, man. We're all about it. Rich?
As long as it's not orange, right, Rich?
Yeah.
Well, I will say I'm torn on this one. I mean, I know UCLA is not the best team in the world. The Cougars are the obvious favorite. Remember, though, UCLA managed to keep a team like Utah, who I think is a better team than how they've looked in the past. They only beat UCLA by a touchdown. It was 14-7 was the final score of that game. So UCLA is not a team you're going to roll over. I'm going to take Washington State, but I'm going to say this could be one of those upset alerts where UCLA, but they have to come out the same way they played Utah. If they can come out and play firm defense and hold them down to a 14-point game, I think UCLA wins this football game.
Okay, we got some more people. We got some more people on the Facebook. Jessica Stodmiller, thanks for tuning in. Ralph Williams says Chip Kelly has a bad habit of losing games that UCLA should win. Washington State.
Do me a favor. Any show that I'm ever on, do not mention that name. That shit's like Voldemort. We don't, you don't mention that fucking name in my presence, okay?
Why is that? Why is that?
The worst coach in NFL fucking history as far as I'm concerned. I don't care what his win-loss record was. I don't care if we made the fucking playoffs. I don't care. That guy
he was terrible. He was terrible.
And the players hated him, and they still hate him. He is one of the most disliked NFL coaches in NFL history. Fuck him. Moving on. Sorry.
Moving on. I can't stand that name. Moving on. Ooh, Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
This is a sneaky fun one. Notre Dame, I mean, they have that one loss, last-second play by Ohio State. Louisville, we don't really know what we have. We know they're 4-0, but, the season is really early into the season. I'm picking Notre Dame to win, but Louisville's going to hang around. This is going to be a fun one to watch on CBS, and it's going to be a 7:30 kickoff. So,
okay, well, I'm going to go with the Fighting Irish because they had it against Ohio State, and they just dropped the ball. Ralph Williams also took Notre Dame, so that's who I'm going with, the Fighting Irish. Rich?
I don't know who Brian Burns is referring to as the fake bastard. That's an interesting term. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm taking Notre Dame. I think it's an easy pick. I think the big thing here is, again, back to what we talk about all the time. Who are you beating? What have you done? It's not your fault. You're supposed to just beat whoever shows up. But in college, we do look and see what those scores are because college is usually a pretty big gap in talent between being a top team and a bottom-ranked team. I think they're going to drop. They're going to be a big reason why Missouri jumps to number 24, 23 after this week when they beat LSU. I don't think it's going to be that close. I mean, they've struggled against Boston College. They struggled against Georgia Tech, struggled against Indiana, struggled against NC State. The only real blowout win that they had all year would have been Murray State, who's a basketball school, beat them 56-0. And that's when they kind of ascended towards we're going to be ranked soon. I don't like that shit. I'm taking Notre Dame by 15.
Notre Dame's. There you go.
They go 500 or ranked in the top 5. That's not far from the truth.
Bernsey, we are we talked about this a little bit ago. I mentioned this a couple of games ago. The whole thing doesn't matter, dude. The whole thing's bullshit. Until they start pulling across these rankings and start going by something else, they need to find some other way to run these games because you can be mad about the 500 ranking. Look, LSU's fucking 23 2 weeks in a row after losing the game. It's bullshit. You're Missouri and you lose a game by 5, you're still going to get unranked. It doesn't matter. You can be
it depends if you got this and you're putting money into it.
Yeah, but LSU doesn't play Army and Navy and Boston College.
Well, Ralph said Notre Dame's in for a dog fight, and Debbie Pfeiffer-Smith is in the house. Thank you, Debbie, for showing up. Okay, we got the next slide. Thank you guys on Facebook and YouTube for coming on.
Oh, not Colorado again.
Oh, wow.
As long as prime time is coaching, we're going to have them on because it's
prime time.
It's entertaining. They're on two. They were the talk of the toast of the town, and they've shit the bed the past 2 weeks. I think they right the ship this week with Arizona State. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree
even when they're losing.
On that. Yeah, prime time. Burns is prime. Prime is very expensive, when you get a drink like that. It's $2 and some, but you can get 2 for $5 at Sheets. But I'm going with Colorado because I can't see them losing 3 in a row. Ralph Williams says Colorado, Arizona State rebuilding. So you must be Colorado.
That's true.
Rich?
Well,
you're in a dilemma, I see.
No, I'm not in a dilemma at all. I really hope Colorado loses this game, but I'm going to take them. I don't want to take them. I was really hoping he was going to leave them out this week, like we forgot about them a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
My problem, and I was talking to my mom about this watching the game on Saturday. She's like, "Why are you so pissed off? Why does this game have you so worked up?" And I'm like, "Because there's all these fucking kids involved. Right? We got all these kids that are playing for the other side. You even got kids on this team that all got pushed behind because Deion brought his little posse with him over to the thing. Now you got T.O. on the side. It's a goddamn Grammy Award ceremony.
Yeah, it's a circus, man.
And you're charging $170 for standing room only tickets for a college football game. Those are usually NFL ticket prices. And we're charging them to go watch these kids. And the problem is, I want to root for them because it's not his kid's fault. The problem is, at some point, you got to. There's a lot of. My mom goes, "Well, why doesn't Jerry Rice coach? Why don't these other guys do it?" Because they want their kids to have their own legacy. They don't want to be involved in that. But prime time, I'm sorry, you can like him if you want or hate him if you want, but he's a selfish, arrogant fuck, and he has to be the spotlight. And that's the reason why
I agree with that.
Colorado put out $90 million to put this guy in a ball gown and just walk him on through everybody's vision, and we got to deal with this bullshit every week. If I have to watch Terrell Owens post one more fucking thing about Colorado, I'm going to go smack the shit out of that ball, man.
Well, Brian Reddick says he hates Colorado for the facts of prime time.
Amen.
So,
fuck prime time.
Polarizing. I love it.
Okay, here we go. Shazam.
Okay, guys, this is this might have been the second one, but I put it at 3, and I'll tell you why. I think the Aggies give them a game, but the Crimson Tide are going to roll. I'm not a huge Alabama fan, but I think they're gonna win this one. If they lost, it wouldn't hurt my feelings, though.
Well, that's what I'm going to say because I'm taking the Aggies. So I've never been a big Alabama fan anyway, but that's just what I'm basing it on. Burns says Aggies through the air, and I picked Aggies before you posted, Burns. So
that's good, Burns. I love it. I love that pick.
So that's what I'm taking. Aggies. Rich, your pick.
I am also going to go to the Aggies because I will pick anybody who plays Bama. They could play Eastern small town Tennessee Village for all I care. I'm picking that team. I don't even know what the hell that is, but I would pick them over the Crimson Tide.
That's a big-time college.
There's nothing I love more than watching Alabama cry on the sideline with Nick Saban. So I'm going to take Texas A&M just for the hope of it.
Yeah,
they have a backup quarterback, so that kind of.
We don't keep track of wins and losses on this show, so I don't give a shit. I'm taking
right.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when Alabama.
Fly.
I remember Alabama played Sonoma University. Man, it was a big upset there. Okay, here we go.
Hey guys, this is one I'm gonna watch for sure. I mean, it's gonna be on at 7:00 on TBS. Kentucky and Georgia, both undefeated. This is gonna be a hell of a ball game. I'm picking the Wildcats to upset Georgia.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna do that myself. Mr. K, thanks for coming on. Ralph Williams says Alabama, Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher not as good of an A coach. I'm going with the Wildcats. I think this is going to be a good game. Rich?
While I'm wearing an Eagles shirt, I can't pick against Georgia. I mean, half of my defensive front right now is Georgia. John Swift is Georgia. I love me some Georgia right now. I hope we see him again in the draft again. I'm going to take Georgia.
Georgia's on my mind.
I'm taking Georgia. Yeah, I mean, I think Ray Charles should be the Eagles' new theme song. But,
Burns says upset.
What that means is he's going to be upset at the end of the game.
Maybe.
I'm taking Georgia in this game. Look at the spread of it, 14.5. That goes to show you how much faith how much faith Vegas has in Kentucky. They're a good team. They're up and coming. Don't get me wrong. They're playing the wrong team at the wrong time. I mean, that's
Ralph
look at them against the spread.
Kentucky's hot right now, Ralph Williams.
Yeah,
4 out of 5. They've covered the spread, and Georgia hasn't covered the spread in 5 games.
But see, you got to be careful when you look at the spread, though, because you got to remember, while the Wildcats are playing games where they're favored by -2 or they're giving up 2 or 4, they've been in a lot closer games. Georgia has had some like 20-some
14,
points,
21 points,
30,
28 points one game.
Yeah,
Yep.
they've been low 30s up to like high teens every week. And of course, it's going to be a little bit harder to cover the big spreads like that. So,
but it's a 14-point spread.
Yeah, I mean, spread matters if you're gambling. If you're going to gamble, sure, take Kentucky plus 14 and a half. Even if you want to tease it a little bit and maybe take a little bit less cash.
Well, Burns he's going to bet the house.
But that's probably where he lost his internet at too. He put his internet.
He put all his money on the internet. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take the Georgia in this game. I get where you're coming from, though, Shane, and I get that from a gambling perspective. But I can't pick based on that. The spreads are so entirely different. I'm going to take Georgia here. They're going to roll.
It was just interesting that one covered the spread and one didn't. 4 out of 5 games.
Yep.
Okay, hey, this is the game of the week, the Red River rivalry, right here.
Oh yeah.
Game of the week, right here. Yep. And guys, last year, Texas beat Oklahoma 49-0. That was a walloping. This year, if you go on ESPN simulation has Oklahoma winning. Man, I'm thinking I'm leaning towards the Sooners here for a little bit of redemption. I think Texas is a good team, but Boomer Sooner.
Well, I'm going to resurrect the spirit of Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Jim Ross, and I'm taking the Oklahoma Sooners. Ralph Williams took Texas, but that's what I'm doing.
Horns
Dr.
down.
Death.
You took the Sooners.
I'm taking the Sooners. Yep.
You took them too soon. That's what the problem is. You took them way too soon. You're buying in too early. I'm going to take Texas Longhorns here. I love that quarterback in Texas. Looked phenomenal the last couple of games.
Yeah,
everybody doubted him. When he first came into the scene for Texas, he was doubted very, very heavily, and he has played, I think it's Ewers, right? I think it's what his last name is. Phenomenal QB. It looks phenomenal, and I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them. I'll take them by a touchdown. I'll take them by 7.
Whoever wins this, mark my words, is going to win the Big 12.
Okay, let me see if we have anything. I didn't look and see. There we go.
So, hey, guys, once again, we have blowout, garbage, who cares, or a little bit of both, okay? Texas Tech and Baylor, it's a battle to see who sucks. Baylor came back and won against UCF last week, which UCF's a good team. But once again, both teams are 2-3. Who gives a crap? Vandy and Florida, blowout. Does Vanderbilt? I can't even believe they're in the SEC. I mean, they're so bad. I can't believe it. They're just terrible. Virginia Tech, Florida State. Virginia Tech coming off a big win over Pitt. Virginia Tech lost against Marshall.
That
Florida State is gonna knock the snot out of that Virginia Tech team. So they're playing it at Florida State, of course. Minnesota and Michigan. No one has cared about Minnesota football since they had that TV show in the late 80s, early 90s. Coach. Yeah. So, Michigan wins against Michigan hasn't really played anybody if we're talking about it. Wait till they play Penn State, Ohio State, and then all the also rans. Arizona, USC. USC, they're number 9. I tell you what, I don't think USC is nearly as entertaining as they were 15 years ago. I could give 2 craps about this game for a top 10 team to be playing on.
He said that was Burns said that was Minnesota State with the coach show. I bet you.
Oh, okay,
smart ass.
And then TCU, Iowa State. This could be a good game, but at the end of the day, who cares? Because TCU lost 2 games already. They're going to beat the crap out of Iowa State. And, we have Nebraska, Illinois, another who cares. Nebraska hasn't been good since 1995.
Mike Rozier.
Seriously, Frazier was their quarterback back then. Fresno State, Wyoming. Yeah, Wyoming's 4-1, but, really, who cares? Maryland and Ohio State. You got Ohio State playing Maryland. Maryland's 5-0, and I don't even. Both of these teams are undefeated. I could give 2 shits, but that's my blowout, garbage, and who cares slide.
Well, Ralph Williams said USC, and he said both teams are disappointing. Alan, thanks for tuning in. And it was 24 minutes and 38 seconds. We went a little bit over, but hey, it is what it is because, Burns says Fresno State is for real. And the reason why we went over because Wrestle Talk across the country is on at 8 o'clock tonight. So I usually jump from one to the other, and I got a little bit of space in between. So, we don't have to go right to the clock, and that's the good thing about it. So you guys are phenomenal on this college stuff, man. You guys are great, man. I appreciate your college knowledge. I'm just the
I'm
the
just
board
here
guy.
I'm just here for conspiracy theories. That's all I'm here for.
Rich, is there anything on here you'd want to watch on this on my trash slide?
If any of these were on, I'm watching my eyelids first. But if I had to pick a runner-up, to sleeping that day, I would say the number one game I'd probably watch here, it would be a toss-up. I would either want to tune into that Fresno State and Wyoming game a little bit, just for like the lower-ended kind of game. But if I want to see how Ohio State looks, getting ready to watch them play Penn State, Michigan coming up soon, almost like a precursor to what's about to happen.
Right.
I'd want to watch a little bit of that Oregon Maryland game. I mean Ohio State Maryland. I don't think it's gonna be close, by the way. I think Ohio.
Yeah,
State,
but for an undefeated, both teams being undefeated, I can't believe I'm just like I'd rather watch 10 other games.
Well, when it goes to show you, though, I mean, it's one of those teams where
just because they're undefeated doesn't mean
Yeah,
the Big Ten. It's the Big Ten.
The polls don't take them seriously anyway. I mean, if they were taken seriously, they'd be sitting right up there. But they're 5-0, and nobody gives a shit.
Wrong show, Burns. The NFL show was yesterday.
Oh, he can't launch a goddamn. Never mind. He can throw a Nerf dart more than 5 yards at this point.
Well, Ralph Williams says Tom Osborne for Nebraska is like Jackie Sherrill for Pitt. Both teams have not been relevant.
Right. Pretty much.
Steelers, yeah, we know. Oh wait, no, he needs the Panthers. I'm just kidding.
Well, that's true. They
should just play each other. They should scrimmage, man. See what happens. I'm curious. I want to see who scores the most points.
Probably
the Steelers,
Pitt right now.
Steelers versus the Panthers. I'm going to see what happens.
Probably Pitt. Probably the
That'd be
Panthers.
fun to watch. That'd be fun to watch.
Because they don't have Matt Canada.
Because they don't have Matt Canada.
I'm still all about
I'll tell you what.
Matt
Swap
Canada.
the coaches and the offensive coordinators. So put the head coach, put Tomlin and Canada on the college squad.
Yeah.
Bring the other guys over. They might score 100 points for Pittsburgh for the Steelers.
I know this is the college stuff, but I think Tomlin's starting to sway a little bit. The people are starting to get rowdy on this side of the state, Rich. It's the national, even Pat McAfee even said some stuff. It's starting to little smolter here. And Sunday, if it goes bad, it's going to get very loud.
The best way to get to Rooney's ear right now, Khan's ear right now, is to pump them up. Get pissed off, post nonstop, scream at the stadium every week, stop showing up. That's the most important thing. The Eagles, when the guy that I won't mention from UCLA that some asshole had to ruin my day with, when that asshole was still here, you should have heard the boos, man. And Jeffrey Lurie came right out and said, "There's nothing I can do. I have to let him go." Same thing with Peterson. Peterson became he went from it's one of those things where Batman always said, 1 minute you're the hero, but if you stay around too long, you become the villain. And that's exactly who Doug Peterson became. He went from being the hero, stayed a little bit past his welcome. He became a villain very, very quick and was booed out of Philadelphia.
What about Pitt? I mean, University of Pittsburgh. I mean, Narduzzi was.
He can go right now too.
Yeah, the best thing since sliced bread, and he can't get out of his own way this year. Would you shit can him?
Yeah. There's not a lot, but the problem is, and I got to be fair with these guys, is there's not a lot of great options out there that are willing to go to these programs. The NFL's a little bit easier to actually say, you know what, let's move on from Canada because there's a million guys that want to be your offensive coordinator. I mean, it's the pros. The problem is in college, there's not many guys that are lined up at the door of Pittsburgh saying, "Hey, I want to be the OC at Pittsburgh University." And I'm not bashing, but I'm just saying, like, college is a much harder thing to fill a role for because you're not offering millions, you're offering thousands, and whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of Franklin in Penn State. I can't.
I think he can't win the big one either, and it's just a matter of time before he rolls out.
Yeah, who's that? Franklin,
right.
You mean?
Yep.
Yep. When they signed him to that contract, I almost threw up in my mouth. My father and I looked at each other like, that was the worst fucking contract you could have given him. You should have given him 2 or 3 years, give him a smaller payout. There's no need to pay that man over $100 million.
No.
I mean, absolute joke. I don't like Harbaugh in Michigan either, but there's that.
I just don't like any Harbaughs at all.
See, Michigan's one of those, they're the Cowboys almost of college football sometimes. They make you think really big of them for the whole first 3 quarters of the year. And then right around bowl season, when they start playing for that conference, they shit the bed every time. Jim is hands on his knees, shaking his head, and he walks back to the locker room in silence. Every year, same goddamn thing. Same thing in San Francisco. Coaching is so bad right now.
Hi, Tammy Rowell. Tammy Rowell, thanks for tuning in.
That name sounds familiar. I don't know.
Yeah, soon to be
I've
Tammy
heard of her.
Brewer. Thanks for tuning in. She's gonna have to change her monarchy.
Big Mama. It's gonna be Big Mama Brewer now. That's what you
She'd be laying the smackdown. But
I
hey,
didn't
guys.
call her that.
No, if she comes storming through my door here in about a second, I'll know. But no, guys, you guys are great as always. And like tomorrow night, everybody, we're picking Fast Lane with the Mania Megacast. Hopefully the whole crew will be in. We're gonna go a little earlier, 8:30 tomorrow night. I'll promote it. I'll put it out there. We'll have a great show as always. It's one of the best shows that I have on the Experience format. But I think every show is pretty good. So, I think we got a good thing going, and you guys are awesome as always, man. So we will hopefully we'll see some college games this week. Thanks, Brian. Said great show. So we just tune in tomorrow night. We get a little bit of raw, crazy, and we make some picks, talk some pulp culture, do whatever. It's Friday night, just going a half hour earlier, and we are here every Thursday at 7 o'clock doing the college picks. And also, Burns, he got one more pitch. No, he doesn't wrestle anymore, Burns. Oh, Jesus. No, that show's tomorrow, Burns. Yeah. But hey, everybody, we're all gonna get out of here. So Shane, Rich, thank you guys so much, and we'll definitely see you tomorrow.
Yeah, don't forget to vote for Bumble on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll be talking
That's
about
right.
that. Yeah, Saturday night, I'll be debating against two Wrestling Hall of Famers, and I need to get my A game on because if I win, it's $13,000 and a trip to Greece. So I got a couple days to get ready. So I'm plotting and planning here. So good night, everybody. I'll see you.